Have you ever dealt with an unconventional sales objection? Early in my career, when I was selling cars, somebody actually said that they didn't think now was the right time to buy. So I went through the typical questions. I said, well, is it a problem with the car? No, they like the car. Is it a problem with the color? No, they like the color. Everything's good. How about the price? Price okay? Yeah, price fits the budget. But they said my horoscope this morning said that this is not the year to be making big investments. So I think I'm going to have to pass. Okay. Unconventional sales objections happen to all of us. That's one example. There's many. But really, when it comes down to it, all objections fall into one of four categories. So let's talk about how you can deal with objections that are either price-related, need-related, timing-related, or urgency-related. Okay? Let's jump into it. Hi, I'm Shawn Casemore, and I help you learn how to become a top-performing sales professional so that you can earn more money in less time. If that sounds good to you, make sure you click the subscribe button. You'll be notified each and every time I release a new video. And if you like this one, of course, appreciate if you could give me the old thumbs up. All right, let's get into it. First off, when it comes to dealing with sales objections or objections that your potential customers are sharing with you, you want to manage your emotions. I did another video that you'll find where I talk about using emotional intelligence, but specifically, let's focus on the basics here. It's easy to get frustrated by some prospects, right? They might drag on the sales process a bit. They might seem a little bit rude or demanding of us or our time, and that can become frustrating, especially if you're dealing with a few of those at once. But you need to start with just handling your own objections. So somebody throws an objection at you, don't get upset. Take a breath, take a minute. My favorite line is when I get given an objection that I didn't really expect, I say, you know what, that's a good point. Give me a second to think about it. Now, they think, okay, good, he's thinking about it. But what I'm really doing is going, okay, Jeepers, I didn't expect that objection. How am I going to respond? So it gives you a moment to think, and if need be, if you're a little bit frustrated, gives you a moment to take a breath and calm down. Because nobody ever worked through and overcame an objection when they were frustrated or upset. You need to be able to think, and in order to think, you need to remain calm. So take a breath, and if you need to, ask for a moment, you'll get it, and it'll allow you to think about what's the best next step for you to take. So there's really 3 steps that I want you to take when it comes to dealing with sales objections that are just a little bit unconventional. Maybe you haven't dealt with them before. We've talked about a couple, but let me put them together here, kind of package them up for you. Number 1, somebody throws an odd or weird objection at you you've never expected. Hey, my horoscope said I shouldn't buy today. Hey, you know what? I just about hit a deer on the way in here. I don't think my luck is on, so I'm going to have to pass. Whatever the objection is, you've just never heard it before, you're going to need some time to think about a good response, right? So step 1, pause for a moment. If you think it's appropriate, use the dramatic pause. If you don't think the dramatic pause is going to work in this scenario, just say to them, you know, that's a good point, or I appreciate you sharing that. Give me a minute to think about this. And then you have to actually look like you're thinking, like I'm doing here. That's step 1. Step 2, ask a question. Don't follow up with an answer. Don't jump to trying to conclude this. What I want you to do is simply ask a follow-up question. Usually the follow-up question is tied to clarifying their objection. So if they say your price is too high, a follow-up question might be, so relative to our price, we included several options. Is there a specific option that you're concerned about the price? Or is there a portion of the proposal where you felt the price was higher as compared to other areas of the proposal, right? Again, it depends on what you're selling, but you want to ask a clarifying question to better understand their objection, okay? That's step 2. Step 3, here's what I'd like you to say. So regardless of their response, they might say to you, it's the entire proposal, the price is too high, right? Which is not what you want, but let's say you get that worst case scenario. Here's what I'd like you to say. You know what? When I put this proposal together, or when I put this quote together, we really spent a lot of time coming up with the best options for you based on what you shared earlier. Would it be acceptable to you if we revisit what was important to you? Or would it be acceptable to you if we revisit your key objectives here? Or would it be acceptable to you if we just revisit the design, the drawings, again, whatever it is you're selling, revisit blank, in order to ensure that I've given you the best possible blank. So again, if price is the objection, is it acceptable to you that we go back and take a look at the design just to ensure that we've got the right design that fits your budget? So you notice again, what I'm doing here is, let's go through the 3 steps. Step 1, pause. You either use dramatic pause or you say, give me a moment. Step 2, ask a clarifying question to try and better understand their objection. And then step 3, you ask another question to try and narrow their focus. Because an objection is so broad, the goal is I got to try and narrow down. If your price is too high, where is it too high? If now's not the time, is tomorrow good, or are you thinking next year, right? I've got to narrow down. If this is not urgent for you at the moment, what is urgent, and when do you think this might become urgent, right? The goal is to narrow down the objection, because then you can deal with it. If you better understand it and you narrow it down, then you can respond accordingly. So there's the 3 steps I want you to follow, and I've got one more tip to share with you. The last thing I want to give you is kind of a tip or a strategy to use is this. When it comes to objections, if the person is not walking away from you, that's a sign of interest. That means that really what they're saying through their objection is, I need something else. I need a better price. I need more time to decide. I need different options, whatever it is, depending on the objection. But if they're not walking, they're really saying, help me get there, right? Help me better understand this. Help me better position this. Help me better understand the return on investment, whatever it is. Help me to help you. That's really what your prospect is saying, the person that's sharing the objection. What I want you to think about is, if they share the objection, you go through the 3 steps and you're still stuck on that, I want you to continue on. I want you to propel yourself past that objection. So here's how you do that. Let's say you talk about price, you go through the 3 steps and they're still stuck on price. So like, yeah, no, it's price. Price is the problem. Just not sure what to do here. You say this, can we agree right now that other than price, everything else in the proposal is what you're looking for? Or can I clarify then, other than timing of delivery, that everything else in the proposal meets your needs? Or can we agree then that the design is really what you're looking for? The problem is it really doesn't meet the timelines you expect. Again, it depends on what the objection is, okay? So you ask that clarifying question, and it's all about using the word agreement, and then you say to them, can we move forward with the understanding that we've got to resolve this issue before we actually close or before we actually complete the deal? So what you're doing is you're looking for a strategic agreement to continue moving forward, presuming everything else is good. Here's why you do this. Because sometimes an objection is a problem somewhere else. People will give you a price objection, but that's not the true problem. That's not the real issue. They'll use it to mask other issues. So this question flushes out other potential issues and allows you to understand what they are. But if the objection they shared is actually the objection, there is no other problem, most times they'll say, okay, well, yeah, let's cover some other stuff. We'll come back to that. So you're looking for that strategic agreement to move forward and keep the conversation going. So try these strategies, particularly when you get thrown an unconventional or odd objection you've never faced before. And comment below if you've got your own responses you use. And of course, if you like this video, click like, give me a thumbs up, let me know this is content you like, and I'll create more of this. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Appreciate you tuning in and watching. If you'd like to watch any of my other videos, here's some here, and let's get out there in the meantime and go sell something. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.